So Christian, I met you yesterday here at the Biohacking Conference in Beverly Hills, Dave Asprey's incredible conference about how to optimize our bodies. And my story is that I've been involved with stem cells for the last 12, 13 years. One of the original innovators in this space, because the advent of stem cells is remarkable. However, it's not always accessible to people, and so now you've come up with a solution that pretty much anybody has access to. And so please share with us about Stem Regen, your product, a bit of the background of the science, and just a short soundbite, because I'm wanting to share this both with my patients, because I think this is a phenomenal product that they're going to want to use, but also most importantly for my colleagues, those doctors out there that are kind of finding out new ways to support their patients, to help them optimize their health, but also to help with their bottom line in their own business.
Sure.
So tell us about your product and about you.
Okay, so I started my journey with stem cells and stem cell research in 2001. At the time, I just became aware of an article that was documenting for the first time that a stem cell could become a brain cell. To me, the curiosity, the question that it brought in me is that if stem cells can become cells of the heart, at the time it was the brain, the heart, and the liver. If stem cells can become cells of the heart and the brain and the liver, then it has to be with a purpose.
Right.
Stem cells cannot just become these cells, and it's not their function.
Right.
And if at the time we had documentation only on the liver, the heart, and the brain, how can a stem cell become liver, heart, and brain and not the rest?
Right.
So I thought they have to be the repair system of the body. So
Right.
I published in Medical Hypotheses that this proposal, but in the back of my mind, I was working with some plants that were bringing to people a broad variety of health benefits, and we did not have an explanation how these plants could support cardiac function, liver function, pancreatic function, the brain, the lung. So the thought in the back of my mind is, what if we have a plant that triggers the release of stem cells from the bone marrow?
Right.
Since it's your repair system, they will go in the pancreas of the diabetic, the brain of the Parkinson patient, the heart of the heart patient. So we bought a flow cytometer, we developed the lab, and we started to count stem cells in people's blood before and after it. And we discovered that some of these plants, that's what they were doing. So we developed the first product in 2005, and since then I simply continued to study plants. And your best candidate, if you want, for research is think of a plant that has been used either globally or in remote areas of the globe for a broad variety of health benefits. So globally, think goji berry, medicinal mushrooms, seaweeds. We tested all of these. We see an effect on stem cells. When we go in remote areas, we went to Madagascar. What are they using there for their anti-aging? You don't have the same concept as what we have, but somebody is aging right now. What do I do for grandpa? You just keep him working. Same thing in Papua New Guinea, in the Congos. And we came back with some very interesting plants from the Tibetan Plateau, from Madagascar, that support the release of stem cells from the bone marrow. All of these are put together in Stem Regen, so that you take 2 capsules of Stem Regen, you will release 5 to 8 million of your own stem cells. So when we think of stem cells in general, we can take them from the bone marrow, from the blood, from your fat tissue, which basically tells you they are already in your body.
Right.
They're not better because you take them out and put them back in.
Right.
So my quest has been, how can we tap into the potential of these stem cells in our body?
Right.
And in that way, that's what Stem Regen does. You just release more of your stem cells. And there's a direct link between how many stem cells in your blood and your ability to repair. So,
I've been on this journey for the last 20 years, and as a plastic and reconstructive surgeon, I've been focusing on transformation. And so what I recognized very early on is this concept of how do we harness the potential of the body to restore form and function. And that's been my focus all these years, because there is a body intelligence. I mean, there's a brain and an energy intelligence as well. So basically, because we've evolved, in nature, with the ability to respond to our environment, obviously we're responding to all the different, phytonutrients that are out there. So basically, you've tapped into the 5 key ingredients, I think that's what it is, in Stem Regen, that enhances the release of stem cells. And so in of itself, that is going to make a big difference in our own personal healing, because our body keeps on breaking down. We don't have access to enough of what we call a surge of stem cells. So by creating that release, this is what you're doing. And so clinical applications, I mean, obviously I'm not asking to make any kind of statements, but for my colleagues out there and the consumer too, when is the use of stem regen applicable? When is it worthwhile?
Any kind of, let's call them age-related health condition, is always caused by either the loss of a type of cell or the loss of a function in a cell. That cell can be replaced by a stem cell. The best way to replace it, you need to put more stem cells in circulation. More stem cells will then be available to recognize the tissue that is in need of repair, and that's what stem cells do. They migrate there. There's a lot of things that we can do for health, and this doesn't replace anything.
Right.
Or it includes everything. But the key factor here is that your core ability to repair is not antioxidants, anti-inflammation. It's all important. But really, the brick with which you build your house is your stem cell. That's what your body. So everything that is broken has the potential to repair.
And as a health professional, wanting our clients to be healthy, one thing I've learned through this whole biohacking process is that we want to begin to stack different things. So it begins with nutrition, it begins with exercise, it begins with sleep. But there's things that we can specifically do, making sure that we've got the right nutrients, nutrient-dense, food. But this is a wonderful access point that we can now add onto this armamentarium, and as clinicians, then begin to share that, because people are looking for that quick fix. There is no quick fix, but if we have elements that can add on and stack on like this, I think stem regen is one of those.
From what we've seen over the past 20 years, I have no doubt that people will be very happy when they see what stem regen does. And like you said, stacked with other approach, reducing systemic inflammation, things that they already do.
Right.
It will add to this wonderfully.
Well, I love it. And one of my passions, again, for all the listeners, whether you're a consumer or a doctor as well, is I'm looking to offer my colleagues, different revenue models, because in this day and age, it's getting harder and harder to get reimbursements. And the truth is that when we have tools and resources outside of the arena of regulations and insurance companies, there's an opportunity for doctors to be able to do what they signed up in the first place, and that's really make a difference for people.
Correct.
And so and my job is to create these products. I love the product. I'm starting to use this product. But also perioperatively, so people who are recovering from surgery, all types of things. So Christian, I really want to thank you.
Thank you.
And I look forward to having my colleagues connect with your company and start, offering this to their patients and to really make a change in health, throughout the country and worldwide.
Looking forward to it.
So thank you.
Thank you.